But nonetheless, we see that eventually he graduated or evolved to the level, from the level of intellectual understanding to a greater level of relationship with the divine that we see in chapter 15, when Hashem says to Abraham, Genesis chapter 15, that one shall not inherit you. He's talking about Eliezer, of course. I just started somewhere. Only him that comes forth from within you shall inherit you. And he took him outside and said, gaze now towards the heavens and count the stars if you are able to count them. And he said to him, so shall your offspring be. And he trusted in Hashem, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. So now this teaches us as children, at a certain point, we need to retire the intellect and let it go and just trust in Hashem, even if we cannot possibly fathom how any sort of salvation could ever arrive for us. Or even if from our very limited human perspective, we can't possibly grasp where redemption would come from. That's what King David said. Shir ha'ma'alot esa einai el harim ma'ayin yavo ezri. Right, a song of ascents. Let my eyes look towards the mountains. Ma'ayin yavo ezri. Where will my help arrive from? He didn't know where his help would come from, but we don't need to understand. Simple faith is arguably Abraham's most beautiful legacy. So Rav Meir Shapiro of Lublin, he taught another Abrahamic quality from that same verse. And I really enjoyed this when I read it. I wanted to share it with you. Now listen to the verse carefully, right? Gaze now towards the heavens and count the stars if you are able to count them. And he said, so shall your offspring be. So Rav Shapiro taught that although it's impossible to count the stars, Avram was instructed to do so by Hashem, so he immediately started counting. And when he did, Hashem said, this is how your children are going to be. Meaning that when the children of Avram are given a commandment or led in a certain way, it doesn't matter if it seems totally impossible, they're going to count the stars. They're going to count the stars even if it's impossible. If intellectually it seems that there's no way to fulfill it, doesn't matter. When God tells us to do something, we do it without calculating whether it's a realistic achievement or not. We leave the how in Hashem's hands. And I believe that doing so would be reckoned to us as righteousness. As the masks are coming off and much of the world is turning not only against Israel, but yes, against the Jewish people. If you feel different, if your love for Israel is growing deeper and stronger, if you're thirsting to cleave to the nation of Israel and to the God of Israel, if you're thirsting to learn authentic Torah from Jews in Judea, then the Land of Israel Fellowship is for you. Hundreds of individuals and families from around the world come together on Zoom every week in what can only be described as a fellowship of love, friendship, of learning and praying and belonging. A fellowship really unlike any other. It's more than just a movement, it's a family. To learn more about the Land of Israel Fellowship, click on www.thelandofisrael.com/fellowship or send an email to fellowship@thelandofisrael.com. Love and blessings from Judea.